Alrighty, what's up guys? It's Empire Gaming back here with another how it's made video. I'm gonna be doing a lot of these until I can figure out exactly what I want to do on my channel. I'm wanting to do some abandoned places and some gaming videos, but I really don't have a whole lot of a setup. I'm really just using my phone. But I'm gonna do my best with what I actually want to do on my channel, with just using my phone until I can afford a setup. So if y'all could go down, like, subscribe, and comment. I want to hit 5 likes on this video. I want to hit 100 subscribers before August, and enjoy this video.
The Black Forest region of southwest Germany is world famous for its cuckoo clocks, which have either 1-day or 8-day movements, meaning that's how long they run on one winding. The standard feature is a little bird that emerges and cuckoos when the clock strikes. Some clocks also play music and have moving figures. The intricate carvings that decorate many cuckoo clocks start out as a block of linden, a soft wood that's easy to carve. An artisan first outlines the basic shape using a stencil and paint, then cuts it out with a jigsaw. Here he's cutting 3 blocks at once. To steady the piece, he mallets it to nails protruding from a block of wood. Then he begins carving, using up to 50 different knives to sculpt exceptionally fine detail. The clock cases these carvings decorate are made of pine or plywood, depending on the model. Often a case has no carving at all. Instead, an artist paints an elaborate design. Some cases feature a combination of painting and carving. The technical artistry is on the inside. The clock's brain, called the movement, is a system of brass and steel gears. It keeps time and triggers the cuckoo function. The components and configuration vary according to whether it's a 1-day or 8-day movement. Workers sandwich the movement between 2 brass plates, connecting them at the corners with long screws. Then on the outside, they install the mechanism that times the chime. Next, the steel wire on which the cuckoo bird will perch. Then last but not least, the reels that'll move the clock hands. The factory runs every finished movement for 2 days straight to ensure it functions perfectly. The first part that goes on the clock case is the dial. They tack it with tiny nails. Next, the wooden cuckoo bird. They insert the movement's perch wire through a hole in his foot, then secure it with a screw so he doesn't fly off. After trimming his tail so he'll fit, they screw the movement, bird and all, inside the case. Next, the steel wires that operate the components that produce the cuckoo sound. We'll see them shortly. And finally, the dial's wooden hands. Every cuckoo clock has 2 chains that regulate the speed at which the movement gears turn. As we see here in slow motion, an automated machine makes these chains 1 link at a time by first cutting and then bending pieces of brass wire. Each chain goes into the case through a hole in the bottom, then onto a wheel in the movement, then back out through another hole in the bottom of the case. S-hooks go onto the ends. These will hold cast iron weights that pull the chain. Workers rig up a small wire connecting the bird and the door. This opens the door when he comes out to cuckoo. As this demonstration shows, the bird's cuckoo is actually the sound of air pumping in and out of 2 miniature bellows. Before each cuckoo, the hammer on the end of this steel wire hits a tiny gong. The number of gong cuckoos indicates the hour. After connecting the bellows to the movement, there's just one step left: running a wire from the movement through the bottom for the pendulum. The technical choreography can now begin. Winding up the clock raises the chain, pulling up the weight on the end. As the weight falls back down gradually, it pulls the chain, which turns the movement, which drives the hands of the clock. The pendulum regulates the pace. At this factory, a clock gets the seal of approval only after a 2-day test run, during which it must perform impeccably. It's this attention to detail, both artistic and technical, that makes these traditional German cuckoo clocks such timeless treasures. Gravity drives a grandfather clock. When you wind up the clock, the cables wrap around a drum inside the mechanism, drawing the weights all the way up. Gravity then pulls the weights down gradually, unwinding the cables. That rotates the drum, which turns gear wheels, which move the hands of the clock. The proper term for this type of timepiece is long case clock. The nickname grandfather clock came from a popular song in the 1800s. This long-established company makes its clock cases out of quality hardwoods and veneers, such as maple and oak. To construct frames for the 4 sides and door, workers fit dowels into holes, then solidify the connecting parts with screws and glue. They lay each frame in this curing machine. It uses high-frequency radio waves to generate heat and dry the glue in seconds. Workers connect the 4 frames with screws and glue. They'll later attach the door frame with hinges. The next step is to assemble a base, again with dowels, glue, and screws. Once the glue is dry, the assembled frames go into the base. Now for some embellishment. Computer-guided routers carve elegant wood moldings that'll give this particular model a traditional flavor. Today's grandfather clocks come in styles to suit any decor, from ornate antique to modern urban chic. Workers carefully sand every single piece of wood making up the clock case. The surface must be flawlessly smooth for it to absorb color evenly. The moldings adhere with a combination of glue and nails. These long pieces of wood become curved, fluted moldings.
Sorry about the ad, guys. Sorry about the ad, but this is a rather long video.
They adorn the side of the door frame. This model also has a pair of stately columns above and below the flutes. A worker first positions them with glue. Then, like the flutes, screws them securely to the frame from behind. The next step is to stain the wood, hand rubbing it in to bring out the grain. A coat of lacquer protects the wood and gives it a degree of sheen, from matte to glossy depending on the model. After installing the glass and door, it's time to install the clock's components, starting with long metal bars called chime rods, 8 to 12 of them, depending on the model. Each chime rod produces a certain note when struck. Next comes what's called the movement. This contains the weight-driven components that keep time and trigger the chime hammers to hit the chime rods on the hour, half hour, or quarter hour. This company uses only top-quality, all-brass movements imported from Germany. The chime hammers are also made of brass, but they have plastic tips. This muffles the sound of metal striking metal, so you hear only the note each rod produces. These brass pulleys hang from cables connected to the movement. The pulleys will support the clock's 3 weights. After connecting the movement to the clock dial, a worker inserts this model's last decorative detail, a wood panel to frame the dial. Then she installs the clock's second hand on a shaft in the center of a miniature dial. On the center shaft of the main dial, the hour and minute hands. Depending on the model, the aluminum hands are painted either black or gold. A decorative nut secures them. Finally, the all-important weights and pendulum. The weights are brass canisters filled with lead. Each one weighs almost 4 kilograms. The pendulum sways from side to side at an even pace. This ensures the clock keeps time consistently and accurately. It also drives the clock to chime on the hour or fraction of the hour. All you have to do for Grandfather Time is wind him up about once a week.
Alright guys, that was Cuckoo Clocks and Grandfather Clocks. Hope you all enjoyed. Again, I want to hit 5 likes in this video. I want to be able to hit 100 subscribers for August. That'd be awesome. August 1st, to be exact. And please comment down below. And I'll see you in the next video.